Hello one and all, nice to see everyone again. I'm excited to be back. Fall sports is right around the corner. We have the opportunity to get started here July 6th. I want to take this time to provide some information that everybody needs to be aware of. The IHSAA, the Department of Education, the Randolph County Health Commissioner have provided us with some guidelines, and it's going to be very, very important that we follow these guidelines. We have the opportunity to be some of the first things that get going as far as athletics, and it's going to be crucial as we get back that we all buy in and understand that if we want to play sports, we're going to have to follow these guidelines and these rules that have been set forth. Otherwise, fall sports could be in question. So as we move forward, some things that everybody's going to have to be aware of is that last year's physical form, if you were an athlete at Winchester Community High School or Driver Middle School, your physical form is good, but you will have to sign a waiver form. It's a 2021 Health History Update Questionnaire, and as you go through the questions, if you answer yes to any of these questions, you are going to have a physical. So some of the questions: have you been medically advised to not participate in a sport? Have you been diagnosed with COVID? Have you sustained a concussion or been unconscious or lost memory from a blow to the head? Have you fainted, experienced chest pain, shortness of breath, had history of unusual fatigue or tiredness? Have you been hospitalized? So you need to ask those questions, and as you go through, I know we have athletes that were concussed last year, so those particular athletes are going to have to get a physical, and there are some options available, and we'll have some flyers put out where you can get those physicals, but everyone is going to have to read through this questionnaire, answer it, and then sign off just like you do on a typical physical form, where your student's name, signature, your insurance information, and your parent's signature. So that is a form that has to be completed prior to when we start activity. So this is something we need to get on really quick. In addition to that, you will need your concussion form, cardiac form that we have signed every year. You also have your emergency medical form. So we will be pushing this out via some various options. You can look at it on our school website. We'll put it on our Facebook, our Twitter account. We're encouraging all our athletes to develop a Sports U account where we will put that information out there and make it available for you. And then we will also have hard copies available here at the school. We serve lunch Monday through Friday from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. The door will be open, and we will actually have hard copies available. If you do not have access to a printer and you need to pick up a hard copy, please do so, because this paperwork needs to be turned in prior to you being able to participate in our strength and conditioning and our practice sessions that will start July 6th. So moving on, as we talk about our strength and conditioning and practices, we will also be putting out a schedule. So as we push this paperwork out, we will also have a schedule that will be basically for the month of July. Our plan is we are going to go Mondays and Wednesdays are going to be our strength and conditioning days. Those are days that are available for any athlete in Winchester Community High School. These are high school kids, so any sport can come in Monday and Wednesday for our strength and conditioning. We're going to have two sessions. We're going to have a morning session and an evening session. You can go to one of those two sessions, so you have to pick and choose which one you want to go to. As far as then our practice sessions, they're going to run Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Basically, as you look at the schedule, there's a key up there, and we have broken things down where we've got girls golf, cross country, boys tennis, volleyball, football, girls basketball. There's designated a boys basketball and a boys basketball fall, which is the boys basketball players that play a fall sport. So if you're a basketball player and you play tennis or you play football, or cross country. That designates you have a different time slot. And part of what's going to happen when you report on Tuesday to your particular sport practice, there will be procedures, and we're going to go through those here shortly, but your coaches are going to be putting you in pods. And it's going to be important that you understand that we are being instructed from our commissioner and these guidelines that are being put forth that we're going to have a group of kids, and that is going to be your pod, which means when you go to practice, that is going to be your group that you are going to be traveling with as you do, say you're doing station work for football, and maybe we've got a blocking dummy that we're using. Well, that pod will be the ones using that blocking dummy. When they leave, we will sanitize that before the next pod would rotate in. So the pods are going to be important. Your coaches are going to be giving you a lot more information and instruction on how the pods will work and how your particular practices will work. But it is going to be crucial that one, we're social distancing, and two, that when we are doing group work, that group work is with our particular pod. And we're going to stick with those pods through most of July. So that's, when you hear the term pod, that's what that means. So as it's time then to think about heading to practice, prior to leaving the house, everyone's going to need to do a home health check. Through this, we're going to use Google Forms. So we're going to ask all of our athletes to use their school email address to be able to log in to have access to this Google form. And this is how we're going to take attendance for our athletes daily, and this is how we're going to ask the home health questions that the students need to answer. So you're going to click on the link, be able then to log in to get to that form, and every day prior to coming to practice, you're going to have to answer these questions. It's going to ask you your name. You're going to have to click whether you're a male or a female athlete. You're going to then click which sport you're playing. So click on your fall sport, or if you're a cheerleader or a basketball player, click on that. Maybe you're a wrestler that's just coming for the conditioning portion. So every day you come, you're going to have to click on there, and you're going to have to go through these questions. So then it's going to get into the health questions. Have you ever had any signs or symptoms of fever in the past 24 hours, such as chills, sweat, felt feverish, or had temperature of 100.0 or greater? So yes or no. Do you have a cough? Yes or no. Have you had chills, repeated shaking of chills? Do you have any new loss of taste or smell? Do you have muscle or body aches? Do you have a headache? Then you're going to be asked to take your temperature. So we're going to ask that you have a thermometer and be able to take your temperature and actually enter what your temperature is. Once you have answered all those questions, then you're going to submit that, and then that will actually come to me, so that when you come to practice, if you've answered no to all those questions and your temperature is less than 100.0, then you are good to go to come to practice that day. If you've answered yes to any of those, you're going to need to stay home. The exception to that would be if it is something that basically is an explainable situation. Okay, one of the questions, if you have muscle soreness or body aches. Well, I guarantee all of our athletes are going to be a little sore and have some muscle aches due to some of the activities, or should I say lack of activities, they have done throughout the summer. So some of these things, yes, as long as you can justify why we are answering yes to that question. But understand then, if you are answering yes, you need to stay home. If you do not have access to this stuff, so let's say you can't get to the Google form, or for whatever reason, maybe you are somewhere where you're unable to get to it prior to practice. Well, then you will have access. I will explain the process when you get to practice, but as you come up, then we will be able to actually go through the questions and take your temperature at the actual site when you get to practice. But we would rather you take care of all this stuff at home prior to even coming to practice. So, with that then, let's think about if if you're answering yes, and you have one of these symptoms, and it's not an explainable symptom like the muscle soreness scenario I said, then our protocol is going to be that you're going to be out 10 consecutive days, 10 calendar days, and then 3 of those, the last 3 would have to be symptom-free prior to coming back, unless you can provide documentation from a doctor as to why you had those symptoms. The other option then would be to go get a COVID test and show us that you have a negative test. So with that, you'd be out 3 days, show us a COVID negative test, then you're back in action. So hopefully you're answering no to all these questions. You come to practice, we're getting ready to go, and everything goes very smoothly. You know, the better we follow these guidelines and the fact that you can answer these questions and get them to us, that's only going to help the process we can get here and make practice and conditioning go that much smoother. So look for this Google form to be put out on the social media sites, and then use it daily when you're coming to practice. So basically from here then, you've done your home health check, you've decided I'm good to go. What do I need? 1, dress for activity. You're going to be outside, gym shorts, t-shirt, you know, good athletic shoes, be ready for activity. You're going to need a water bottle. I suggest a big water bottle. Maybe you get a milk jug, or clean out a milk jug that you can put a gallon of water in. Basically, you are not going to be able to drink from any fountain at a school. They're going to be shut down and closed off. We will have some stations, some refilling stations, but if you can bring a big enough container that we don't have to refill, that just makes everybody's life easier. So water bottle, got your exercise clothes, and then everyone is going to have a face covering. And I know that's tough, understanding that it's just one of the rules that we have to follow. So you've got some options there. As I say, face covering, we have to be able to cover our nose and our mouth at various times. When you're doing activity, you are not going to have to wear it, but when you arrive, and as we're doing some things, you will be enforced to have them. So if you show up and you don't have your water bottle and your face covering, we're probably going to send you home. So come prepared. There are some options. You can get the surgical masks, the various masks that are available to buy. I know lots of people have been making their own masks. That's A-okay. I even went and cut the sleeve off a shirt or a pair of pajama pants to be able to make some face coverings, so that when you leave home, you need to make sure that you're prepared and that you've got all the requirements and expectations that are met when you arrive, so that we're ready and we can move on and hopefully have a smooth July, so that when we get back in action in August, we're able to start playing sports. And so with that, at this time, we're going to kind of move out. We're going to explain the process when you arrive to the high school. There's going to be a procedure that you follow at the high school, whether you're coming for fitness, strength and conditioning, or whether you're coming to practice. And then we will also have specific instructions for volleyball and basketball as they arrive at the field house. So at this time, let's grab our mask and let's grab our water bottle and let's head to practice. All right, so I'm just arriving for my strength and conditioning session. I'm going to park out in the outer area of the parking lot. As I come in, I'm going to look and see if there are lots of people lined up. I'm going to wait in my car in my AC so that my temperature doesn't rise. And as soon as the line gets small, boom, I put my face covering on, I get my water, and we're going to then venture and we're going to line up in a social distancing manner along the fence leading into the main entrance of the football stadium. So as we walk up to our entrance, we have X's on the ground to social distance you from the person in front of you. So as our first athlete in front of me works her way forward, at this point right here is our hand sanitation station. So everybody needs to stop here, get their hand sanitizer, rub their hands, and make sure that you thoroughly clean your hands. And then as an X is available in front of you, you're going to move forward through the process. So as I now have made it inside the entrance here, here's where you're going to come up. It's going to be one of your coaches. It might be myself. It might be the trainer behind the table. But this is where you're going to get your temperature checked. And then you're going to be asked those questions that I talked about earlier. So you're going to come up. You're going to stand here. She's going to go through the questions. You're going to need to expose your forehead. Kind of lean in so that she can then get your temperature. Once that's done and she's cleared you, from here then you're going to enter the football field. So we're going to leave from this point, make our way in. As I leave, then the next athlete will be working their way up. So on Mondays and Wednesdays, after you've gone through your checks, you'll be walking out here and Coach Jones is going to be running our strength and conditioning. He's going to have things set up. There'll be cones, there'll be lines on the field. But it's going to be important that when you enter that we are social distance. So at this point you can see the cones. We'd walk out. They're all behind the cone, and so I'm going to space mine out. It's going to be really important that you listen to the instructions day one. You're going to have specific instructions for strength and conditioning and what your expectations are when you come out for this. On your practice day, cross country, you're going to enter the same way we did, but Coach Fisher is going to have an area where you're going to be designated to go to and social distance when you get there. Tennis, same thing on the tennis court. You'll enter the same, but you'll go there. Football, we'll be out on the football field. You will not have locker room access. We will have a restroom available for emergencies only. So it's going to be important. You come prepared. Same time then, boom, we've done our workout. Coach Jones has started our workout. We will be able to take our masks off while we're doing activity. So whatever the activity is, the mask come off, maybe we're setting it down, we're putting it in our pocket, but then when the activities are over and say it's time for us to leave, boom, we're gonna have to put our mask back on. We will have an exit, and I'll show you where we will exit here in a second. Yep. So we've completed our workout. Coach Jones has dismissed us. And as we dismiss, we have to understand we have to social distance. So this will be our exit. We then will walk past the restrooms and out the gate. And then from there, we will walk down Falcon Boulevard to our cars or to our parents that are picking us up out there. If for some reason your ride is not here, it's important that you continue to social distance. Everyone else, straight to your cars, no socialization. Get in your cars, head home, and then you are required to wash your athletic clothes that you wore that day and your face covering. That all must be laundered before you can come back, and you are recommended to do it as immediately when you get home. So hopefully this has been helpful. Look forward to seeing you soon. So now we're at the field house. This is where volleyball and basketball will be having their practice sessions. So we will park out in the parking lot. Same procedures as you get out of your car. You've got your mask, you've got your water bottle. You're going to walk up and you're going to social distance. We have blue X's on the sidewalk. And as you walk up then, when the X is empty in front of you, you're going to walk up. Here's the hand sanitizer. Make sure you're getting the hand sanitizer. You're going to come up. You're going to get your attendance, your temperature check. You're given the green light. At that point then, you're going to enter. This is our entrance. Everything goes the same direction. This is not the exit. This is the entrance. So then we're going to enter here. You're going to go down and your coaches will give you instructions that you're going to be social distance. And then they'll be talking about those pods that I mentioned earlier. So you've completed your practice in the gym. The coaches have dismissed you. It's important that you understand again, we're going to social distance. And then we are going to exit the field house using the doors on the north end of the building that face the parking lot. So time to go, boom, we're going to head out the doors. As soon as I get home, I'm going to wash my clothes, wash my mask so that I'm ready for the next day's workout. See you soon.
Let's follow these rules so we can have a great season.
Let's follow these rules so we can have a great season.
follow these rules every day so we can play the sport that we love.
Hey guys, let's follow these COVID rules so we can have a great season.
Follow these rules every day so we can play the sports that we love.
Let's